Document is the STEM endorsement matrix, and it is the document that was used to create the endorsement. You'll notice here in the column A, the left-hand corner, you'll see the listing of all of the STEM endorsement rules from the PSC. There's a big overarching standard like preparing candidates that demonstrate STEM as an interdisciplinary endeavor by demonstrating their ability to apply rigorous content across STEM and STEM-related disciplines. And then there's going to be different elements that are listed here. Things like integrating STEM, thinking about STEM as an interdisciplinary process, investigating local and global phenomena, really helping students be able to make informed decisions about challenges that face the next generation. So you can see that there are different sub elements that we use. So as we develop the different tasks for the STEM endorsement, we actually identified the STEM PSC rule that it really addressed. So you can see those a couple of asynchronous assignments and synchronous sessions are going to address several of these different issues. Local and global phenomena, really issues across all different topics, whether whether it was a synchronous or asynchronous topic. So this is really one of those overarching ideas that we see, but you can see how the different assignments that are completed in the endorsement, particularly synchronous and asynchronous, really align to these first couple of standards. We also notice that these tasks and assignments that students are completed are not just aligned to the PSC's standards, but they're also aligned to the TAPS standards. So when we look at professional knowledge standards, we also look at, research and evidence through instructional planning, strategies, differentiation, assessment. We also focus on the learning environment, having an academically challenging environment, as well as professionalism and communication, and then modeling technology. So, when we worked on developing the endorsement, we really looked for ways to make sure that we're also incorporating these TAPS standards. So that's important for teachers to know, just the particular TAPS standard that we're using. Like we do a lot here in the beginning with instructional planning and strategies. And as we, move through the other assignments, we get into differentiated instruction, assessment, and the key assessments or assignments for the program really include our STEM PBL unit that's written in course 2, the tiered assessment task that's written with that, the technology integration lesson, which is a part of course 1. So those are really our 3 big assignments that are completed. And then we have a lot of other assignments like a STEM partner project, collaborative conversations, grant writing, developing a professional resource collection. These other different tasks and assignments that candidates complete are also supporting the development of candidates, STEM and interdisciplinary STEM goals as connected to the PSC elements and rules. So this is a helpful document. I wouldn't show this to candidates in the first couple of sessions, but I think as you start going through the endorsement, maybe midway or towards the end of course 1, it might be something that you want to show candidates. We have a lot of non-STEM teachers that participate in the endorsement, and we do want them to understand that, the rules related to the endorsement really help all content areas to be able to integrate with STEM. So a lot of the things that we do, in the STEM endorsement really have a lot to do with communication and really being able to include, investigative questions, some argumentation, critical thinking, analyzing data, and we really, embrace and include, all different areas, not just STEM, but also non-STEM areas. So that matrix of assignments is located in the instructor handbook and resources, which are a part of the instructor resources in the menu. Some other things that you'll see here are Metro Risa has a YouTube channel, and on this YouTube channel, there's a lot of how-to videos like, how to add a photo onto Blackboard, how to register for a class, how to create a rubric. So there's some really nice tools for instructors that are there. And something else that's important is our instructor handbook. And this handbook, which is updated periodically, really is going to provide you with information related to a lot of components of the endorsement, like different ways to keep your candidates engaged, some different best practices that we've learned over time. It's been pretty helpful to keeping candidates in the program and engaged, no matter what their content area or position is. But there's also things like our grading policy. And then there's some assignment clarification. We have a lot of questions about the STEM certification visit. We also get a lot of questions about working with partners and the things that are important on our PBL unit. There's a little bit in there about, how to create a document to make a forced copy. If you wanted to do a mail merge email, there's some information there. But just some different resources that are helpful. And there's also Metro Risa's policies and procedures for instructors as well. So I think it's a pretty useful document that provides you with a lot of information. So just make sure that you get familiar with that handbook. So just back to our Metro Risa course, once again, just wanted to go through and share some information that is useful for you and your students. We can go back here to STEM by Week. Remember, STEM by Week are your candidate-facing resources that they have access to. Information and resources for candidates also provides some helpful links that your candidates may use during different parts of the program. We have a whole list of endorsement Padlets that are used in both synchronous and asynchronous instruction. Things like there's a Padlet just for science, and it includes a lot of different science resources. There's also like a cool STEM ideas, which is one of my favorites, which has some different connections for ideas for real world phenomena. So these are available for candidates to see and use anytime, but we do introduce them really to one at a time as we go throughout the program. But the purpose of this STEM information and resources area is just to have them have, common things that they might use multiple times during the endorsement, instead of just having them remember that, oh, it was in asynchronous too, when we did a certain resource. But you'll see some things that are there. We use Georgia Inspire resources a lot. The DOE suitcase gives us links to all of the standards for the state, which is a great tool to be able to identify and link different STEM topics together. Cobb County Schools has opened up their STEM visits to our endorsement candidates. So candidates could sign up here to visit a STEM school in Cobb. There's also a list of STEM certified schools in the state. The DOE posts STEM and STEAM resources so that we become aware of, the different STEAM and STEM showcases that STEM certified schools are having that are public. So it just kind of gives them a couple of options as they're thinking about their STEM visit. And we've also started introducing candidates to AI as a productivity tool. We want, candidates to learn the way to use different AI tools to help them in lesson planning. We certainly don't want them to have an AI write a lesson for them, but we want them to be able to use multiple different AI sources to get different ideas as they're brainstorming and thinking about their topics and the projects that they're writing on, maybe how to write a grant or how to write a budget. So we want them to, learn how to use the tools for teacher productivity. At this time, we're not encouraging that they're using AI with students because we're still waiting on schools and districts to come up with their policies around AI. So their districts may permit that, but we are primarily using it as a teacher tool to really help them, learn how to, use these tools to get ideas and brainstorm, write lessons and things like that, and to just really as a tool to enhance their productivity. So that's information and resources. There is a calendar which will provide us with the assignments for the classes. Our next classes are starting in August, and they can use the calendar to see when the synchronous meetings are, when the asynchronous meetings are. So it just can help them with those different dates. It also lets them know, when assignments are due, so they can see when the due dates for assignments are. Typically, things are due Sunday at 11:59. So that's our calendar, and finally, I will show you my grades. Another great link for candidates where they can go in and get a listing of all of their assignments and what their grade was, so they're able to see their work in progress. So the good thing is for each of the assignments, they'll get the alignments to the PSC standard, and they'll see the rubric for their assignment. We do allow them to resubmit assignments in order to be successful on those assignments. So hopefully this is helpful. We've looked at instructor resources and different candidate-facing resources, and at a later time, I'll do a video on how to set up an online class.